This is the story of an epic voyage, of lives lived, dreams shared, and the building of an institution over generations. For 75 years, the Great Eastern Shipping Company has successfully navigated the most unpredictable of all businesses and built a proud legacy in the global maritime industry with a fleet that proudly represents India around the world.
"75 years, my mind travels back to 1948, when as a young man I saw A.H. Bhiwandiwala and Company, in which my father Maneklal and my uncle Jagjeevan were the partners and laid the foundations of a dream that led to the birth of Great Eastern. Born in a small balcony at 32 Apollo Street in Mumbai with just 3 employees: Amratlal Mehta, Company Secretary; S.N. Sanklecha, Assistant Company Secretary; and Sonu Bane, Peon. From that beginning was born a company that today serves customers across the 7 seas. But before I go on, let me tell you the story, how it all began.
In the early 20th century, the brothers Maneklal and Jagjeevan tried their hand at various businesses. Sadly, the Great Depression of 1929 caused them heavy financial losses. Cutting their losses, they had no option but to explore other businesses. As luck would have it, a Parsi family of legendary wealth, the Bhiwandiwalas, saw potential in the Sheth brothers, particularly their enthusiasm and determination to succeed. This provided the seed capital of what was to become GES. In gratitude, the company's logo, AHB, was adopted from the name Ardeshir Hormusji Bhiwandiwala. Till today, this is stenciled on the funnel of all GES ships. Understanding the Indian love for sweets, the brothers chose to start dealing in sugar and set up A.H. Bhiwandiwala and Company in April 1932. Under their guidance, grit and perseverance, the company thrived. In only a few years, the Sheth brothers controlled around 30% of India's sugar trade, earning them the title the Sugar Kings of India. To facilitate the import of sugar, they enabled the opening of 2 ports in Gujarat, namely Porbandar and Okha. In the interim, the next generation of Sheths were making their own strides. Jagjeevan's eldest son, Jayantilal, looked after the sugar factories, and Maneklal's older son, Sevantilal, managed the family's import-export activities. And as the new generation took over the business on ground, Maneklal and Jagjeevan decided it was time to explore new horizons. In 1948, the U.S. Maritime Commission was auctioning the many ships built for carriage of cargo after the Second World War. The brothers London brokers, Egger, Forrester and Werner Limited, saw potential in the shipping industry and suggested that they buy these ships in what would also help their sugar trade. This was a decision that would change everything. On 3rd August 1948, a new company was formed, the Great Eastern Shipping Company Limited. This name was given by the Sheth brothers' good friend and advisor, Mr. H.T. Parekh, the legendary founder of the Housing Development Finance Corporation. With their impeccable reputation, the Sheth brothers secured financing from the First National City Bank of New York in Bombay. The ship SS Fort Ellis was acquired for a price of 22,77,917 rupees at the then exchange rate of 3 rupees 50 paisa to $1. It was renamed Jag Vijay, a world victory. To this day, all GES ships have the moniker Jug after Jagjeevan. Having no knowledge of operating a ship, the young Vasant Sheth, son of Jagjeevan, and the young K.M. Sheth, son of Maniklal, gave up their studies and took on the task of learning the business firsthand. Thus began a new journey to the eventual establishment of a globally successful shipping company today. At every milestone, there have been innumerable people whose work and dedication have paved the way for the Great Eastern Shipping Company. Let us hear from some of them about their journeys.
My 40 years journey with Great Eastern started in September '82. I was assigned the task of dealing with government policies and liaising with important clients like Transchart, Indian Oil, ONGC, MMTC, and so on. Buying ships was a laborious and painful process. Selling them even more so. The government had the final say in approving the acquisition of ships under a newly formed Ship Acquisition Licensing Committee, SALC. The committee had some 20-25 members with little or no knowledge of shipping industry. You will appreciate that this made ship acquisitions a very cumbersome process, with members turning down some of our proposals out of sheer ignorance. This is how Great Eastern painstakingly grew until liberalization set in early 90s. Well, I have retired now with the pride and knowledge that Great Eastern today is highly respected in the corridors of power in Delhi. It is recognized as a professionally run company with operational efficiencies, quality tonnage, and the ability to compete with the best in the world. Here, I am reminded of the old Great Eastern ad, which ran on the lines of, "The cargo is safe not because the oceans are calm, but because Great Eastern is at the helm." I wish the Great Eastern all the best in years to come.
Starboard 10, midships, steady on 310.
I remember walking past Flora Fountain, now Hutatma Chowk. Young lad, I was that time 17 years old, looking at the grand Hong Kong Bank building where the Great Eastern office was located on the 5th floor. Its house flag was fluttering atop. It was the year 74. I was keen on joining a good shipping company. I had applied to Great Eastern Shipping for a direct entry apprentice post. Great Eastern called me for an interview. Fortunately, it went well and I was selected. Thus, my sailing career started as a cadet. Sailing was quite different in those days. We used to have a total complement that time of about 60 persons. Today we have just around 20. Navigation was more basic. It had paper charts. Today we have it all digitized, like the ECDIS, the GPS. I remember one generous gesture which I saw in Great Eastern during my time in the early 80s. It allowed junior officers, like second officers, to carry their wives on board. I have had some varied experiences whilst I was sailing. One incident that springs to my mind was a successful search and rescue mission where we rescued all 21 Filipino crew in the Bay of Bengal in the southwest monsoons 220 miles southeast of Vizag. I spent 23 years sailing on the Great Eastern ships and then the next 22 years in the head office, working first in the QST department. I joined it in 1998, then eventually shifting to the tanker operations department. So many fond memories. I remember a lot of us, including myself, taking refuge, cozying up in blankets during the 2005 Mumbai floods. A family atmosphere was always there with a sense of born homie. And these go a very, very long way in appreciating the quality of Great Eastern. I would like to conclude by once again thanking the organization and the management for my rich memories of 45 years. Great Eastern has a good name, and I truly believe the company will continue to grow and prosper. I wish the organization all the best. I will always remember and treasure my days in Great Eastern. Thank you.
My journey with the company began on 8 February 1982 when I joined as a stenotypist in the share department. From there, I embarked on a path of continuous challenges and opportunities for personal and professional development. One of my notable experiences was writing a gossip column in the house magazine named Me and You, which was funny, truthful, and full of juicy gossip. It was a joy to express myself through words, and I received immense support and encouragement from my editor and mentor, the late Josnaben Chet. Throughout my career, there have been several highlights that I hold dear. Starting as a stenotypist and retiring as an assistant general manager is a testament to the growth and progress I have achieved within the company. Working in the treasury department was a significant milestone for me. I was happy that the company entrusted their trust in me, which is a male-dominated job. They made no distinctions. I am immensely grateful for the trust, guidance, feedback, and friendship I received from influential individuals such as Nikhil Jory, Balan Vasudev, G. Shivakumar, and Bharat Sheth, who have played pivotal roles in shaping my career. GESCO was my family. As myself being an orphan at an early age, GESCO and all GESCOites will always be the family I treasure. If I was asked what period of my life I would like to relive, it would definitely be my time in GESCO.
I joined GESCO on 2nd August 1963 as a professionally qualified chartered accountant and was given opportunities to grow within the company and finally become the head of HRD and administration, floating and shore staff in 1970. The all-round professional experience I gained at GESCO under the visionary leadership of Vasant and Kanubai Sheth was remarkable. Both men truly embodied the entrepreneurial spirit of the company and converted difficult times into opportunities with great success. When other Indian shipping companies failed or folded up, especially during war times, GESCO faced every challenge with true grit and perseverance and continued to bring precious commodities to India. The strong GE work culture and ethics were passed down to every employee with direct interaction of senior management with departmental heads, executives, captains, and even crew. I still get telephone calls from retired captains and chief engineers remembering GE shipping as the best phase of their life. GESCO has undoubtedly contributed immensely to the maritime sector of our country, and I am confident that the company will continue to grow from strength to strength under the able leadership of the next generation.
That takes me back to many memories. My first assignment in the company sent me to Japan. I had two purposes: to familiarize myself with the business operations and to oversee construction of the two ships that the company had commissioned from Mitsubishi shipbuilding yard in Kobe. Japan was a very different place from where it is today. In those post-World War II years, the scares of war were evident everywhere. Long queues, acute shortages were common. Rationing extended to various aspects of daily life, including tea, coffee, and even petrol. Like any other foreigner, I also got a ration book as soon as I arrived in Kobe. I actually still have it with me. Now I use this memory as a souvenir. After that, I returned to Bombay and joined my cousin Vasant at Great Eastern's office in Apollo Street. Our ambitions grew and we expanded our fleet size and capacity. Our initial focus was to carry coal from Calcutta to coastal destinations and in return journey transport bulk salt from Gujarat ports. However, certain government policies were cause for a lot of limitations, leading us to shift our operation overseas for expansion. As our fleet expanded, our workload grew. We wanted to make Great Eastern the largest shipping company in India's private sector. Duty and responsibility to that goal and to the company has always driven us. We were like three musketeers: my cousin Vasant, myself, and my nephew Sudhir, fighting for a collective goal and always supporting each other. Sadly, my cousin Vasant passed away prematurely, leaving me and Sudhir with the responsibility of not just leading the company but adhering to the high standard our predecessor had set across the years. We were ably supported by the strong commitment of our employees, including seafarers, as well as the unwavering support of our shareholders. We have a company that has constantly evolved and been at the forefront of change throughout this long period.
We've heard snippets of Great Eastern's history on the rigs, but there were more stories to drill into. Let's take a look at Great Eastern's endeavors in the oil field industry. Beginning in 1984, the Great Eastern became the first Indian company to acquire jack-up oil rigs and offshore support vessels. Beginning with a joint venture with Atwood Oceanics from Houston the Great Eastern Shipping learned to operate two offshore rigs, the Badrinath and Kedarnath, which served the company well for decades. Then came its Malawiya series of offshore support vessels, with GES once again being the first to acquire vessels of this type. This division was ably handled by Vasant Sheth's nephew, Vijay Sheth. In 2006, Great Eastern focused all its offshore activity through its wholly owned subsidiary, formalizing it into the Great Ship Group. Today, Great Ship owns and operates 4 jack-up rigs and 19 offshore support and supply vessels. While all the jack-up rigs are helping India discover oil and gas, the offshore support and supply vessels trade both in India and in other diverse geographies, from South and West Africa to Brazil, Japan, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Australia.
I joined Great Ship in 2006 when the first vessel, a second-hand PSV named Great Ship Tisha, was acquired and commenced operations with British Petroleum in Egypt. Over the next few years, the company grew at a rapid pace, building 4 jack-up rigs and 25 OSVs. An interesting project comes to mind. This involved one of our vessels carrying out studies on climatic changes from centuries ago. For the first time ever, geologists and microbiologists carried out deep scientific drilling in the dynamic subsurface of the Baltic Sea to understand the violent climate changes that took place during the last 140,000 years, as well as the life of microorganisms in these depths. We have had many more equally exciting undertakings and collaborations that the company has undertaken in my time working here. I'm looking forward to newer frontiers of work for the Great Ship Group.
My association with this company began more than 50 years ago. In 1971 to be precise, when I first boarded a Ges vessel. Believe it or not, I was actually carried on board the vessel just 1.5-year-old then by my father, Captain Arvind Pradhan, who had just taken over command of the vessel Jagravi. I was fortunate enough to sail on more Ges vessels after that. And I can say with great certainty that it was this sailing experience that prompted me to pursue a career at sea. It wasn't always smooth sailing. We had a lot of rough weather and rough seas, but professionally, it's been pretty much smooth. Largely due to the strong support we've always had from the company in matters of safety and the well-being of us seafarers. I am indeed extremely grateful to GESCO, and I can say without a shred of doubt that I and my family owe a lot to this organization. We wish and pray that the flag of GESCO will continue to fly high and reach new heights of success. Personally, I also wish that my son, who is just 12 years old now, decides to take up a seagoing career and can continue our family legacy of sailing on and commanding GESCO ships in the years to come.
But GES's story doesn't end at its shipping and offshore achievements. The Great Eastern Group has always encouraged upskilling their officers and crew. A well-trained and skilled on-board workforce can always be relied on to run a ship safely and economically. Recognizing the need for trained and well-qualified officers and to cope with the growth of the maritime industry, the group decided to set up its own Maritime Institute. In the year 2006, it set up a well-equipped campus in Lonavala called the Great Eastern Institute of Maritime Studies. GEIMS is a state-of-the-art maritime institute spread over 18 acres of lush green land, offering courses specializing in marine engineering, nautical science, and electrical technology. With the aim to create trained professionals who will emerge as world-class deck and engine officers.
We are having advanced electronic labs, we are having advanced bridge simulators, ECDIS room, we are having experienced faculties over here, lots of experience regarding ship. It is like a very fruitful journey for me.
My experience in GEIMS has been very memorable. My initial impression of the place was that they offer good quality education and of course they have a very nice infrastructure. They even have good facilities for the lady cadets. So all in all, this experience has molded me into being a more confident person.
With its world-class facilities, the institute was awarded the National Award for the Best Maritime Institute in 2021 as well as 2022. The Great Eastern CSR Foundation was set up in February 2015. Over the years, GECSRF has supported a diverse range of development initiatives under education, health services, and the empowerment of youth and women. Additionally, the foundation supports distinctive programs focused on specially abled persons, sports for positive change, and women-led climate-resilient farming models that help break gender bias. These programs benefit people spread over many states: Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and Tamil Nadu. To achieve its objective, GECSRF partners with various non-governmental organizations to uplift the lives of low-income communities.
We have completed 8 years of our CSR journey at the Great Eastern Group, and what began as an earnest effort at compliance has evolved into a proactive and powerful space to serve the socio-economically disadvantaged communities and contribute to the betterment of the world we live in. The ethos that pervades the company's pursuit of shipping excellence drives its philanthropic efforts as well. Having worked in other CSR organizations, I feel what makes the Great Eastern Foundation unique is the commitment and involvement of the management to walk the talk. This was best seen during the COVID crisis when we went well beyond our CSR budget, extending support to distressed families. It was truly a collective effort of the entire organization.
Being a part of the Great Eastern Foundation since 2019 has been an immensely fulfilling journey. What truly ignites my passion is taking on projects in the most challenging geographies, such as the mountainous regions of East Kameng in Arunachal Pradesh, the Majuli Islands in Assam, the tribal forest areas in Mayurbhanj in Odisha, the remote villages in the border districts of Kargil in Ladakh, and the shipbreaking yards in Alang in Gujarat. I take this opportunity to request all my colleagues to participate and volunteer in the CSR activities and experience the joy of sharing.
Over the years, GECSRF has engaged in meaningful partnerships with 47 NGOs across India, creating a positive impact for beneficiaries across project geographies. capacity building of more than 9,200 teachers, leading to notable improvement in the learning outcomes of over 1.35 lakh students. Around 66,000 women, 25,600 children and 20,000 men received quality healthcare services in far-flung areas, devoid of any medical resources. Around 17,000 youth have been reached out to through skill-based programs, scholarship support and internships, and 40,000 women have been provided with livelihood enhancement opportunities through trainings on micro-entrepreneurship and sustainable farming. Additionally, through unique projects for specially abled persons, more than 2,200 students with low vision and blindness were supported with easy-to-access education content, assistive technology trainings and support services. GECSRF will continue to contribute to education, healthcare and livelihood creation with an increased focus on supporting projects aimed at empowering the underserved communities and geographies across the country.
Today, Great Eastern has sailed round the world and back. 75 years only marks the beginning of a new era. As I say these words, I am filled with pride. Pride at the institution we have created without ever compromising on our standard of operating excellence, skilled manpower and financial controls. I am confident that the brand Great Eastern will continue to make India proud, sailing the 7 seas, lead the company to an exciting and prosperous future.
Congratulations to Great Eastern Shipping on 75 years of service, growth and success.
It has been an exciting and a wonderful journey for all of us.
It's been pleasure working with you.
We wish all the best for the future sailings of this company.
Congratulations, it's a huge milestone achieved.
Wishing Great Eastern Shipping a happy 75th anniversary.
It's been a wonderful journey for all of us.
And I wish prosperity for many more decades to come.
A very happy 75th anniversary to the Great Eastern Shipping, a great milestone achieved.
May you continue to enjoy fair winds, following seas, and all the very best for the future.
Great Eastern Shipping, celebrating 75 years of excellence.